I'm Rebecca from Ingvid. Today, I'm especially excited to welcome you to a new series that I've created called How to Speak Like a Manager. In this series, you will learn how to take general English and upgrade it to business English, okay? And we'll be doing that by looking at different verbs that you can use, adjectives, nouns, and so on, okay? But today, in this lesson, we will be focusing on 8 verbs, but you might be asking, only 8 verbs and I can become a manager? Well, yes. Why? Because I'm going to show you how these 8 verbs, to start with, can actually be used in hundreds of ways in different collocations or combinations of words. So therefore, you'll be able to use them in all kinds of situations. Definitely in professional situations, but also in social situations or personal situations, okay? So let's start right now. Okay, so let's suppose what you want to say in general English or regular English is something like this. I need to find out what's wrong, okay? Now on this side is all the regular English or the general English, okay? And on this side, we're going to express the same idea, but in higher English, in more advanced business English or more professional English. And you're going to help me because I didn't write the word in yet. You're going to help me because perhaps you already know some of these words, but even if you know them, you might not realize how many different ways we can actually use those same words. And that's what I want you to be able to do. Okay? So suppose your idea in your mind is that I need to find out what's wrong. So how could we say that in more professional English? I need to, the verb starts with I need to blank the problem. I need to identify the problem, okay? So our first word today is identify. Say it after me. Identify the problem. Good. Now, suppose the idea you're trying to convey is, I need to fix the problem, okay? Fix is a very ordinary word. So what better word could we use here? I need to blank the issue or the issues. I need to, you might know this word. I need to resolve, okay? So resolve is just like solve, but usually we say solve the problem, but we might say resolve the issue. And resolve is an even higher, more advanced word. And the higher vocabulary that you use, the more professional you will sound. Okay, that's what our goal is, right? Okay, next. I need to give people confidence. So what's a good word or verb for that? To give somebody confidence is to, something that starts with M. I need to something my employees. I need to, do you know this word? I'm sure you've heard it. Motivate, okay? Say it after me. Motivate or motivate. You can say the T. Sometimes it's easier and clearer for people to understand you when you say the T. So let's say the T now. Motivate. I need to motivate my employees, or I need to motivate my employees. Okay? Instead of saying I need to give people confidence. Because you see that all the verbs here are very ordinary, everyday verbs. And those are higher level verbs. Next, I need to give clients my attention. Again, we have a very weak verb here. So how can you say that? I need to give my attention to my clients or give clients my attention. The verb starts with F. I need to blank on our clients. What's the verb? Do you know it? I need to focus, okay? Say it after me. Focus. Be careful how you pronounce this word because otherwise it can sound improper, all right? I need to focus on our clients. Sounds a lot better than saying I need to give my attention to my clients, okay? I need to focus. Next, I need to spend as little as possible. Spend as little means spend as little money. So what's one word that captures that idea to spend as little as possible? It starts with M. I need to something our expenses or our costs. Do you know what it is? Okay, so the word is minimize. Okay, I've written it twice because this is the American way with a Z or Z, and this is the British spelling with a S. Both are correct. So I need to minimize our expenses. When you minimize something, you reduce it to as much as possible. Okay, minimize. And again, we're going to see so many different ways in which we can use this verb and all of these verbs, okay? Not just the way I've done it here with resolve the issues. We're going to see lots of other things you can resolve or lots of other things you can minimize. Okay, next. I need to make as much money as possible. Don't we all? Okay, so what's a good verb for that? Again, something that starts with M. I need to something our earnings. Earnings means the money that you make. So what's the verb? It's very similar to minimize. It's actually the opposite of minimize. It is, yeah, I can hear some of you, maximize. Good. Okay. Again, I'm going to write it with the Z or the Z, but you can also write it with an S, and it's correct. What you need to do regarding that British and American spelling is stay consistent. If you're using American spelling, then use American spelling. If you're using British spelling, use British. Okay, try to stay consistent. Next, I need to get more work. We're not making enough money. We need more work. So instead of saying get more work, we can say something more business. What's that really good verb here? Starts with G. Generate, okay? Generate more business means to create more business, okay? Instead of just saying get more work, which sounds very ordinary, we need to generate more business. We need to create more business, okay? And the last one, I need to use the new ideas. So instead of saying use, there is a verb that starts with I, which means to put something into practice, to use it. I need to something the strategies, or I need to something the recommendations. Do you know that word? Okay. Implement, okay? To implement an idea means to put it into practice. So let's say you have an idea, okay? That's great. We all have good ideas, but what are you going to do with that idea? You want to use it. You want to put it into practice. You want to implement it. But not only can you implement ideas, you can implement lots of other things, which we're going to talk about as we continue the lesson. But here, we're talking about implementing a strategy, which is a plan. So repeat after me now. Just get used to saying these things out loud. The more you say them, the more comfortable you will be saying them, and the more likely you are to actually use them at work or in a job interview or something, or in your emails, your professional emails. Okay? Just get comfortable with them. Are you ready? Identify the problem. Resolve the issues. Motivate my employees. Focus on our clients. Minimize our expenses. Maximize our earnings. Generate more business. And implement the strategies. Good. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to take these 8 words and use them in so many other ways. I'll be right back. All right, so let's start with our first 4 words, okay? Identify, resolve, motivate, and generate. All right? So let's look at how many different ways we can use these words. And these are just a few of them, okay? I've actually created for you a resource which has more than 100 words, which you can use in combination with just these 8 verbs, okay? So afterwards, I'll tell you where you can download that from our website, okay? But now let's look at some of the possibilities, how we can use these words. So the first word, identify. So again, what does identify mean? It means to find who or what, okay? For example, if you want to start a new business, you need to also identify the risks of starting a new business. What is the risk? The danger, okay? The possible problems, the risks. Or if you want to hire someone, you need to identify or find, you need to identify the right person for the job, right? Good. That's part of a manager's role, to recruit good people. All right. Now, what I want to show you on this side is that you can not only use these verbs in business and professional situations, but also in all kinds of other situations in your life. For example, you and your spouse might sit down and discuss the fact that we need to identify the reasons why Johnny is not doing well in school and how we can help him, okay? We need to identify the ways in which we can save money. Okay, so you see that we can use it in everyday life as well, but we're using higher level vocabulary. Okay, now resolve. Again, resolve is like solve. Okay, so we need to resolve the situation. We need to resolve a crisis. What's a crisis? It's a very serious situation. Okay, very bad emergency kind of situation is a crisis. All right. We need to resolve the disagreements between our children because they keep fighting. Or we need to resolve the tension between these two neighbors. Okay? Tension is like stress. Okay, next word, motivate, right? You need to motivate our staff. We need to motivate the team to do well. All right? We need to motivate our kids. Kids is like slang for children. Motivate our kids to do their homework. I need to motivate my spouse to find another job. Spouse, what does this word mean? Husband or wife, okay? And now the word generate, okay? So what is generate? To create more of something. So to generate more sales. Of course, that's usually the objective and the goal of most companies. Or to generate more revenue. Revenue is just a business word for basically more money, okay? All right. Or you need to generate more interest in a particular subject. Let's say your child is not interested in math or in some other subject or geography, and you want to be able to help him to generate more interest in that subject or generate more enthusiasm for helping you in the house, okay? Things like that. Now, as I said, we can use all kinds of subjects, okay, in our sentence. We can say, we need to. You can talk about your company. We can say, the company needs to. You could talk about your government. You can say, the government needs to whatever. Or my children need to, my neighbors need to, my brother needs to, my friend needs to, I need to, okay? All right. And not only need to, before all these verbs. You can say, I need to identify the risks. I should resolve this situation. I must motivate the staff, or I have to generate more sales. Okay? So you see that you can use all kinds of verbs here as well. Okay? Now, when I come back, we'll look at the other 4 verbs that we learned. Now let's focus on our next 4 words, okay? And they are focus, minimize, maximize, and implement. All right? Let's look at how we can use these words. You can focus on your priorities. What are priorities? The things that are most important, the things you should really be paying attention to are your priorities. Okay? Let's say you have 5 things to do in a day, but the first thing is the most important thing. That's your most important priority. So you should focus on that priority. Okay? Or you can focus on your goals, your objectives, your dreams, your visions, your ambitions, and so on. Okay. Again, we can use these words in any sphere of life, also your academic life. You can, perhaps you need to focus on your studies. You need to focus on improving your grades, okay? Or improving your health, okay? You can also add a word in there like I did just now. Focus on improving my health. Focus on increasing my grades, okay? Things like that. Next, minimize. Again, minimize means to reduce to the lowest level. So we need to minimize costs. Costs are like expenses. We need to minimize the time that's wasted by many people in this department. Okay? We need to minimize the noise. All right? That's sometimes in this neighborhood. And we need to minimize the amount of money we're spending on coffee. Okay? Apparently I forgot to write that. Okay, never mind. All right. Maximize. So maximize means to make as high as possible. This was to make as low as possible. Maximize is to make as high as possible. So we need to maximize our profit. Okay? Profit is the money that you earn after you have paid everything and everyone. Okay? You need to maximize efficiency. Efficiency is productivity. How well you work, in terms of time, in terms of all your resources. Maximize efficiency, okay? As a student or as a parent, you want your children or you want yourself you want to be able to maximize your grades. You want to maximize your investments. If you put money into a particular stock or share, you want to make sure that the investment is maximized, okay? Now, here you see that I am using a lot of other business vocabulary and generally more advanced vocabulary. So you have a chance as you learn these 8 verbs to also learn a lot of these collocations and combinations with other nouns. And in case you're not familiar with what those mean, then that's an opportunity to go even further with this lesson. Okay? All right. The last verb, implement. So to implement something means to actually put it into practice, not just talk about it, but to actually do it. So we need to implement the changes. We need to implement the new policies that the department or that the company has come up with. We need to implement the safety rules, or we need to implement the consultant's suggestions or recommendations or anything like that, okay? Now again, on that resource which I've created, you will see hundreds of examples of how you can use just these 8 words. And in future lessons, you'll see more verbs and more examples. So this is a really quick shortcut, okay? This is a vocabulary hack, actually, for you. And a hack is a shortcut, a way for you to expand your vocabulary more quickly and more easily, all right? So what I suggest that you do now is a few things. So first, go to our website at www.ingvid.com, and there you can do a quiz on these 8 words, okay, to make sure that you really know the meaning, understand how to use them, and so on, okay? Next, you can, while you're at the website, you can also download for free the resource that I've created on how to use these 8 words with many other word combinations, all right? Then, if you really want to start implementing the recommendations that I've made to you, then write a sentence. Write 1 sentence, write 2, write 3. Choose 1 word and write a sentence in the comments section of our Ingvid website or on our Facebook or somewhere, okay? Or on YouTube. So write a comment using 1 or 2 or 3 of these words, okay? Try to really make those words your own. And you can write, you could say like, I need to maximize my income, okay? Or our department should minimize costs. Or the president must, I don't know, you decide what the president must do, okay? So there's so many different kinds of examples you can write. Write about something that's relevant to you, and that will help you to remember these words and understand these words properly, okay? And last of all, subscribe to my YouTube channel, because that way you can continue to get the other lessons in this series and lots of other lessons which I've created, which are really like shortcuts and hacks for you to learn English more effectively and efficiently. Okay? Thanks very much for watching, and all the best with your English. Bye for now.